Hello, MCU fans. Today we're going to take a look at the new CinemaCon Captain America 4 details, because man oh man did Feige ever bring it at CinemaCon. So we're going to look at the things he had to say about Captain America 4, but also a little bit of details on Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts. So without further ado, let's dive right in and see what we can find out. Don't forget, April contest, be a subscriber, leave a comment, win a book or a steelbook. And of course, we have the membership option if you want to help me with my goal of doing this full time one day. But honestly, no matter how you support the channel, it's all greatly appreciated. Leaving comments, liking videos, subscribing, those things go a long way. So thank you so much. All right, so man, oh man, did Feige and Mackie really hype up this movie. I mean, Mackie hypes up everything, granted, but still, I mean, he throws down, Mackie does, that this will inform the direction of the future of all Marvel movies. Wow. Bold statement. So it'd be really interesting to know what specifically he was talking about there, but does make me really excited for this movie. Also, Mackie says Falcon and the Winter Soldier isn't required viewing. And, while I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I think it'll add some backstory to the movie, I like the fact that Marvel is continuing to try to make these movies new fan friendly. So a new fan could go and see this movie and not feel like there's a lot they had to see beforehand. So very cool. Mackie also says the movie has the tone of the Winter Soldier. Oh man, that's a really good movie. If you're comparing yourself to Winter Soldier, you better bring it. But I think he will. He talked about the fact that it's very grounded, political drama. They're not out fighting aliens. So, okay, that makes sense. So getting me really stoked for this movie. All right, so then this photo is from Entertainment Weekly, where they were showing, some first looks at the movie. But it works really well for this discussion, where Sam looks at Ross, played by, of course, Harrison Ford, and says, "I'm not used to the new look." So he's referring to, in the movie, no mustache, but the meta commentary is, hey, you're not the same dude. What's going on here? So obviously Marvel has had many famous recastings, with Rhodey, Banner, and Cassie being probably the three most famous. But in this case, of course, William Hurt, tragically died from cancer. So R.I.P. William, and so he had to be replaced. But nonetheless, they're still making some meta commentary on the fact that it's a new actor. But speaking of the mustache, Ross says, "They told me to lose the mustache or the election." Now, I'm not putting quote marks around this one because I don't know if this is an exact quote or somebody's interpretation of what they remember, but I really want to know what's going on here because he discusses an election. I mean, we know that Ritson was doomed, right? He was not going to win his next election because in Secret Invasion, even Fury says, dude, that's a real one-term president stuff, that speech you did on killing all the Skrulls. So it was obvious Ritson was not going to be president in another term. But if we look at the timeline for the street level and political stuff coming out, notice everything in yellow has already come out, red has not come out yet. Well, on the top, we have what I would call the Kingpin through line. In the middle, I have what I call the Val through line. So Val is involved in everything there. And the bottom one is more the technology through line, damage control, Rhodey, Stark's equipment, etc. Well, Secret Invasion sure seems to be November of 2026, and there is no presidential election in 2026. So if Brave New World is, I was guessing early 2027, it's just a guess, that doesn't work. So either the movie's actually in 2029, after the next presidential election, or we maybe have some form of transfer of power. My guess is that Ritson either has to step down, or he's impeached, or maybe he's even killed. And that results in Ross, who I'm guessing maybe was his vice president, rising to power. So maybe the mustache line is more, I'm getting rid of it for the next election, because I don't think I'm going to win if I keep this mustache. I don't know, but I'm really hoping the timeline keeper, after all the attention that Drew's been getting, I really hope he didn't mess this one up. So fingers crossed it all makes sense. Okay, so also Ross mentions his doctor told him to stop smoking and he's sucking on a red lollipop, which might be a cute way of referencing Red Hulk is coming. So that's kind of cool because we at least have heard rumors. So no confirmation yet, but rumors that he'll turn into the Red Hulk either in this movie or in Thunderbolts. Ross also tells Sam, "What you did down in Mexico really opened my eyes." So there must be something recent that the movie references where both Sam and Torres do something that, gets good attention from Ross. Of course, Torres is going to be playing the Falcon with Sam obviously playing Captain America. So very cool. And then Ross says, "I want Captain America to rebuild the Avengers." So we finally get that confirmation that there is no Avengers team. I mean, I don't know when this movie is taking place, but let's say it's early 2027. That's over 3 years since Endgame, and still no Avengers team. So let's do a quick recap of every mention, at least, of the Avengers since Endgame. So in April of 2024 in Shang-Chi, the Avengers seem to be meeting informally. You know, Bruce says, welcome to the circus. He doesn't even say welcome to the Avengers or welcome to the team. He says, welcome to the circus. So then in July of 2024, I love Talos saying, you know, everyone keeps asking where the Avengers are, and I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, we were all wondering where the Avengers are, and this is July of 2024 again. All right, so then in October 2024, the Eternals are discussing the new Avengers leadership, or lack thereof. Because Sprite says, so now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone, who do you think is going to lead the Avengers? So here we are a year out, and we still don't even have a leader, let alone a team of the Avengers. Now, December 2024 was a big moment because it brought us Rogers the Musical, which showed that at least, you know, the world at large was very happy for the Avengers and what they did in Endgame. So that's really cool. Then April of 2025, She-Hulk discusses joining the Avengers. In fact, she even asks after she said, hey, you could be an Avenger. She wonders, is there health care? That's my big question. I need health care. But then very next episode, it's questioned whether she was rejected or not, because a reporter shouts out, is it true you were rejected by the Avengers? Then, according to the wiki, and I believe this is correct, right after that, very soon after that, Scott launches his book tour. So look out for the little guy. So this is like in universe when his book would have been released. And that's April of 2025. And the reason that they say that is because in May of 2025 in Wakanda Forever, we see from this news ticker that Scott Lang's book tour is ongoing. So it kind of makes sense that it would have been released the month before. So once again, the public is learning all about the great things the Avengers have done, even if there is no team. Then September 2025, we see AvengerCon in Ms. Marvel's show, and they're honoring the fallen Avengers. Then all the way into July of 2026, we see Scott doing his book readings. We don't believe this is part of his tour because it seems to be at a local library. But yeah, again, everyone just loves to hear about the Avengers, even though we're almost 3 years out now and they're not even meeting. And then finally, November 2026, Kamala mentions wanting to join the Avengers. And this, of course, is in the Marvels, thinking that this was an Avengers test. Oh, my word. So, yeah. I can't wait for there to finally be an Avengers team. I think we all feel the same, right? But I do have to wonder, will Sam bring up to Ross the last time Ross ran the Avengers? Remember in Civil War when Sam wouldn't sign the Accords and he ended up beaten up and in jail. So it'll be interesting to see if there'll be some reference to that in the movie. All right, so Isaiah Bradley, who was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he appears, but he ends up being triggered a la a Winter Soldier, like Bucky was in the Winter Soldier movie, because some music plays over the intercom and Bradley goes nuts, as do several Secret Servicemen. They all try to kill the president, is what it sounds like from people that saw these things live at CinemaCon. And Cap has trouble taking Bradley down because he's still strong. I mean, he's super strong because he was a super soldier. So very cool. And then Ross mentions our inner circle has been compromised. So yeah, this is where we're kind of getting that Winter Soldier feel, right? I mean, sleeper agents, super spies, you can't trust anyone. Very, very cool. Very cool. All right, so here's another photo from Entertainment Weekly. But some of the folks that watched this trailer said that Sam is seen fighting a new villain. And what's interesting is they didn't really describe, at least I haven't seen a good description of this female villain, so I don't know who it is, but at least we're going to get at least one new villain. And then Ross at one point says, "You're not Steve Rogers," to which Sam replies, "You're right, I'm not." So clearly this theme of him living up to the mantle of Captain America is going to come up in the movie. Then we do know the leader is going to return. It wasn't really mentioned at CinemaCon, but of course we've seen behind the scenes photos. You can see Tim Blake Nelson there with his green hands, a little bit of green makeup on, which presumably then he's going to look like the leader from the comics. But amazing, it's been 17 years since the Incredible Hulk movie came out. And that's IRL. In Marvel years, it's even later because we're all the way in 2027. So like, what has this guy been up to for 19 years using the Marvel timeline? We're also going to see Betty Ross after all this time. And she's at someone's funeral, so we don't know who that is. Could that be Ritson? Could it be Ross himself? Because they thought that maybe he died and they don't realize that he becomes the Red Hulk. Who knows? But very, very cool. Lots of exciting stuff for a Brave New World. But then also, Mackie mentioned he wants revenge on Holland because at a Comic-Con, Holland was ribbing him, saying, I don't remember ever seeing a Falcon movie. And then you see the reaction that line gets because the audience goes wild and Holland's really giving him grief. So at CinemaCon, Mackie specifically said, I want Holland sitting next to me at the premiere of the movie. I want him to see that I got my movie now. So very, very funny. Love those two together. It's just so much fun to see the actors having fun together in real life. Very cool. All right, so then a couple of quick comments about Fantastic Four. It's mentioned it will start filming in a few months, so that's encouraging. Feige still feels that a July release for the movie is very, very, very likely to happen. He also reaffirmed the cast, the main four. Didn't mention any of the other of the cast, so that Silver Surfer, discussion about a female Silver Surfer didn't come up. But yeah, I love this cast. It's going to be a great movie. And then regarding the Thunderbolts, Florence Pugh made a short video appearance. Here you see her eating mac and cheese, spicy mac and cheese, as she did in the Hawkeye show. I love Florence Pugh. Cannot wait to see her again. And then it's mentioned that Thunderbolts will arrive in May. And notice that the asterisk is on the screen there. And Feige said that it's actually relevant, but he cannot explain it at this point. We're going to have to wait until the movie comes out. Interesting. And in fact, Florence Pugh, when she did a little behind-the-scenes video a couple weeks ago on her social media, notice Thunderbolts with the asterisks, and here's another shot of it there. So I don't know what that means, obviously, but one interesting theory might be that the asterisk is because the title is going to change. And I would think they'd have to do that soon. So this is just a crazy theory, but I would love this if the title actually changed to Dark Avengers. Because in the comics, the Dark Avengers, obviously none of these characters other than Sentry, I think, are going to appear in the movie. But the concept of a government-run evil Avengers team, that's pretty cool. And maybe they're going to consider the Thunderbolts not to be, they may call them officially the Thunderbolts, but they might be referred to internally as the Dark Avengers, or at least we may call them that, because that was just a really cool storyline, and it's kind of what we're seeing with the Thunderbolts. There's going to be a lot of death in that movie. So anyway, I am stoked, right? Captain America 4 looks good, Fantastic Four, and Thunderbolts, or whatever it's called, they all look fantastic. Let me know your thoughts. Which are you most excited about? What do you think the asterisk means with Thunderbolts? What do you think about Ross becoming president? Leave your thoughts. I love to read them all, and I respond to all of them. So don't forget, April contest, be a subscriber, leave a comment, win a book or a steelbook. And of course, we have the membership option if you're interested in that. And the Discord, got to mention it every time because it's so much fun. So we have rewatches coming up here. We have MMRPG. We have Star Wars retrospectives going through much of the summer. We have a thumbnail contest because we all know my thumbnails are not that great. And so you can design a thumbnail that I will use in my next video for Moon Girl. And lastly, we have a bunch of threads out there. We mostly talk about Star Wars, DC, and Marvel, but as you can see, anything you want to talk about, we'll create a thread and you can go to town. So over 1,300 people on the server from across the globe, 24/7 conversations going on. I will leave a pinned comment so you can join if you'd like to. Also, if you don't mind, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out more content and we'll all continue to enjoy the ever-growing, ever-changing Marvel Cinematic Universe.